One more to go until I can finally end this franchise. This should be the end, right? Right? No. The new Hellraiser will probably be a success. And the new Hellraiser will probably get many sequels. Well, let's enjoy the freedom as long as we have it, right? Welcome to my second mega review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Hellraiser Revelations and Hellraiser Judgment. This is my review for both of those movies. I was going to do them separate, but I just thought, let's just put them into just both of them into one big video like I did for Bloodline and Inferno. Like I did for that one, I'm going to talk about Revelations, and after I give you my thoughts on that and tell you if you should buy it, stream it, skip it, then I'll talk about Judgment, buy it, stream it, or skip it. But let's begin with Revelations. Now, this seems to be a lot of people's least favorite. I walked into this movie very nervous because I was thinking to myself, how bad can this movie be to Inferno and Hellseeker? Those two, they're tied for being my least favorite of this franchise because I hated both of those damn movies. Hopefully the new one is not as bad as those two because I've been hearing good things about that one and the trailer did actually look that pretty good. And when I watched this movie, I was nervous. And I understand a lot of the hate. Now, I'm not one of those people that say like, oh, this movie should be taken off the planet. They should grab every copy in the world and burn them. I'm not one of those people. I mean, there's like so many other movies that are worse than this movie that I've seen. Freddy's dead. Thank you very much. We're not going to talk about that yet. And I'm not going to be one of those people who be like, oh, this is like the worst of the franchise and all that. But to me, Hellraiser, Inferno, and Hellseeker are still my least favorite of this franchise. Now, this might, when I do my ranking, this might be at the bottom because this is just a movie I don't see myself rewatching as much. But let's get into my thoughts. Now onto my positives of this movie. I think the practical effects are pretty damn good in this movie. They barely use any CGI. There's no CGI that I can cast out here and there. But I did enjoy a lot of the practical effects, and it barely uses any CGI, and I'm proud of that. And I don't know why they just decided to use CGI when it barely takes any time to do one practical effect. It just shows what little money, like, look at the budget for Hellraiser, the original. Look how much effects that they did for that movie. But, no, apparently they want to do CGI now. And I liked how this went back to its Hellraiser roots, pretty much, where it was, like, the first two Hellraisers where, like, Frank, in the original, he needed blood to rejuvenate his body and to get skin. They do this in this one, and they did that with Hellraiser 2, and I'm pretty sure they did in Hellraiser 3. I like how it finally does that again. I do, like I said, I'm glad it does that, but in my Hellraiser 3 review, I thought it was getting old, but with this franchise gone to shit, pretty much, a lot of them don't even feel like Hellraiser movies. At least this one tries to feel like a Hellraiser movie, and I'm glad that they brought back that blood thing, where if you get enough blood, it brings back your skin and all that. I'm glad to see that again, because after watching all these other Hellraiser movies, I'm just glad to see that. And Nick Everson, he plays like the innocent character in this movie. I like how it was like the Frank thing where the guy who's the barber guy in Child's Play 3 and then who plays Frank and his brother in the original Hellraiser. I like how he's playing the innocent character and he also plays like this murderer guy. I forget their names, but in this, where the guy who needs all this blood, he kills his friend. Well, actually, he doesn't kill him. He takes his skin and he wears it. And the surprise at the end, it wasn't really a surprise to me. I kind of saw it coming, but it did get me a little bit, but I also kind of saw it coming. I do like how he plays both characters. He's pretty good in this, and I think he's like the only good actor in this movie. Now, on to my negatives. Pinhead. He's horrible in this movie. Like, his face, his voice, everything else, he's pretty good. His body's like the only good thing about that Pinhead. His face and his voice, it's dog shit. That's all I gotta say. And also, what the hell is going on with that mini Pinhead where this guy that, like the innocent person of this movie who just doesn't want to open this box, What was going on with Pinhead making him a mini Pinhead? It's like watching watching Dr. Evil from Austin Powers if he put on a Pinhead mask and then he put a Pinhead mask on his mini-me. What the frick was going on there? Like, what's the point of that? I didn't like that. And the acting, it's terrible. Besides for Nick Everson when he was playing the bad guy of this movie. Other than that, the acting's terrible. Like, there's one scene where this guy gets shot by the bad guy of this movie, pretty much. There's a 5-second shot where no one does anything. They're like they're shocked, but they don't do anything. Like, there's one girl in the corner just like. The acting is terrible in this movie, and that's all I gotta say. And the characters, they are stupid. I hate them so much. They're not even enjoyable. Sitting through this movie, I'm like, God, can these characters just die already? And oh yeah, speaking of the positives, not the positives, the negatives about the acting. There's a part of this movie where Pinhead shows up and like this guy makes her open the box, and then he was like, he made her open the box, and he looks at her and just like rips her goddamn throat open, which looks awesome, but her acting's like, I'm not joking. I am literally not joking. That is how bad the acting in this movie is. But back to the characters. Like I said, the characters are awful in this movie. Not even Pinhead is good in this movie. Like, they can't get Pinhead right in this franchise. I really hope in the new one they at least try to do something new with him. With her, sorry. There's in the new one, it's a girl. I'm kind of nervous about that. Not with the gender. I just want to get that clear. I'm not nervous about the gender. I'm nervous about the new actress, which voice sounds cool in it. I got to hear her voice. And the third act, it kind of forgets that this is a Hellraiser movie. And a few parts of this, it kind of forgets that it's a Hellraiser movie, and like when the character shows that he's evil. That could have just been like a twist thing where he just goes missing for a few days and then he turns on his family. But I will say, I did enjoy this movie just a tiny little bit. I did not hate it. I'm not saying it was good. I'm not saying it's the best of this franchise. But I will say it would probably be in my bottom list of this franchise so far. But I enjoyed for what this movie was. At least it tried to be a Hellraiser movie and went back to its Hellraiser roots. I won't recommend this to everybody. You gotta know who you are. You gotta know what kind of person you are. What kind of Hellraiser fan you are. But if you've been with this franchise for a while, I'd probably say skip it. But if you haven't really watched any of the other ones, if you're enjoying the ride so far, at least give it a shot and stream it on Tubi or whatever you can find it. Because I streamed it on Tubi and it was a decent time at least. This is a movie that I say go ahead and stream it. I did not hate this movie, but I'm also saying I did not like it. Now to my thoughts about Hellraiser Judgment. I don't think I like this one very much. This one again, it's pretty much Hellraiser Inferno, where they do a detective thing. Let's just get this over with. I only have two positives. The Adidor, I believe that's how you say his name. He's like this really messed up guy, and he like brings all these people that have pretty much are bad guys, and he like does this little typewriter thing, and he works for Pinhead. He's easily the best part about this movie. And Pinhead, they finally got him right in this movie. His voice is awesome. The acting is actually way better in this since Doug Bradley. Doug Bradley will be missed, but I don't know if he'll ever come back as Pinhead. Probably won't, because Hellworld was stupid as hell. But the person that replaces him in this movie, I think is way better than Revelations. My mixed aspects. The opening. What the hell is going on in there? I thought it was weird, but I can enjoy how weird it is. But at the same time, I don't know what's going on. There's a part where this guy is apparently like he's a child murderer or something, and then there's like this part where the Adidor, he's like typing about something, and then this weird fat ass guy comes in, and he just like takes like his weird stuff that he has from children. He takes like children's tears and he pours it all over news articles, and he eats it. Then he vomits in a tube, and all these three naked ladies, they eat his vomit. And then all of a sudden, these other ladies come in where this guy is tied down, and they, like, rip off his clothes with their teeth. And then all of a sudden, this big hulking guy comes in and he just cuts him to death. Like, what is going on there? I can enjoy it, how weird it is, but, like, what was the point of this opening? The opening was probably the best part of this entire movie, but what the hell is happening? Like, I was sitting there like, what is this? What am I watching? Like, I was so confused watching it. I'm like, what? But, on to my negatives. Because it's a Hellraiser movie. Again, let's move on. And the characters, horrible. I didn't care for them. They were stupid. The detective of this movie, he's an asshole. And the fact that I found out he was the main character of this movie, I kind of forgot. Let's move on. Like I said in the beginning, this is just like Hellraiser Inferno. Where you get this detective, he's learning about all these murders. It's just stupid. And then there's a twist at the end where apparently there's like a bunch of murders going on. And I forget what the guy's name, but then you find out the main character is this murderer. That felt obvious to me. And it was kind of forced to me. I didn't like it, but overall, I did not like this movie. I thought it was boring. I thought it was just unimaginable. It's nothing we haven't seen before. This is a movie I just say that you just go ahead and skip it. This movie I just didn't really enjoy, except for the new Pinhead and the Atador. They're easily the best parts about this movie. But everything else is just boring. I don't see myself ever rewatching this movie. But hell, I don't see myself ever rewatching Hellraiser Revelations or any of the other movies in this series. But if I were to rewatch any of these movies, I would probably only rewatch the first one, the third one, and the fourth one, because those movies are actually fun and they have fun for what they are. Hellraiser 2, Hellbound Hellraiser 2, I thought it was fine, but it's not a great movie either. But with all that being said, I did kind of enjoy Revelations. I'm probably going to get yelled at for that. And Hellraiser Judgment, I just didn't really care for. It's kind of boring. But if you guys enjoyed this review, hit the like button. If you loved it, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you will get notified for my latest videos. Look out for my Hellraiser 2022 review, and we can finally put an end to this damn franchise. But until my next review, my next video, take care.